Hello, all of you delightful beings out there. I am Brazim, currently as Nevis, King of Conquerors, the Marten. And this is RimWorld. And, yeah. We've, started to get things situated here. We at least have walls everywhere. We've got some shelves going up, some proper storage. And yeah, things are going okay. I think we've got beds for everybody. Not 100% certain on that one, but
The work in progress.
yeah.
Hey, TLDR. Lawyer unionization complicated.
Lawyer, basically anything complicated.
No, there is one very simple thing about lawyers. Lawyer money very simple. Pay lawyer. Never enough.
Yeah, sure.
I respect lawyers, okay? But also, like, they like money. And I can't blame them. God, they can be real petty about things. I mean, it's their job. But still. Also, can I just say, like, I love the Dutch.
Love the what?
The Dutch.
Sure.
Okay. So, do you know what you know what the Baltic Sea is?
Roughly, yeah.
Like in Europe, you have like north of Germany and Poland, below Sweden, that like big body of water that like only has as an entrance Denmark, or the Danish Straits. Um, Basically for a large part of history, that was a very like lucrative trade area because well, you had a bunch of countries on the surrounding coasts, right? And they all wanted to trade with each other. And the easiest way to send things into these countries was through water. So you'd, for example, send goods like from England through the North Sea into the Danish Straits and into the Baltic Sea. The problem is that the Danish Straits are a strait because Denmark controls the land around the straits. And if you control the land around the states, you can put a bunch of guns around them and a bunch of ships around them and tell everyone, hey, if you don't pay me, you don't get to cross these straits. So they did that. And that was such a contentious thing for so long in so many parts of history. It caused so many conflicts in the region because it was very lucrative. Like you could just make a lot of money on that. And it would be doubly so, because like for example, I'm Denmark's rival in the area. Denmark could just be like, oh, you want to make trade with this country? Pay me extra. Like I'm hiking the rate. You're gonna pay me more because I don't like this country, and you can do nothing because it's the only way you could enter the Baltic Sea. And the Dutch looked at that and went, how do you calculate how much money we owe you? And one of the ways they did it is they took the deck area of the ship. So the bigger the deck, the more money we charge. Because if you have a bigger deck, you probably have more cargo, you have a bigger ship, you're making more money, pay us more. So the Dutch made ships that basically had really small decks, and they slapped a massive cargo hold below. And the Dutch would go like, yeah, you have a small deck, must be a small ship, go on ahead. And it's like, bruh, that's devious. I kind of low-key love that.
All I heard is that GibGab loves the streets and small decks.
Loves what? Sorry?
You love the straights and small decks.
I mean, look, when it comes to decks, I like decks of all sizes, okay? Big, small, you know, I'm not too judgmental when it comes to that thing, you know? It's like a dollar bill. How much is a dollar worth? It's a dollar. Whether it's a dollar in coin, whether it's a dollar in bills, it's still worth a dollar.
And yes, Candy, Raijin is cute.
Ooh. Also the realization that, like, okay, you know how like movies will sometimes portray something that we kind of generally agree is really cool? Like, oh
No, I
look,
don't know that.
Like, oh look, that tank is turning the turret, it's gonna shoot, and then the tank shoots and it's like, oh wow, that's cool. Like it just did the big like boom. It's like fairly simple things, right? I had the realization today while I was looking around that there isn't that many scenes of ships of the line firing, and it's kind of begun to irk me. Like, you have these gigantic wooden ships that had cannons ranging in like the hundreds. And I don't know, collectively movies have just looked at them and gone like, don't care. It's like, bro, I want to see the movie scene of like a ship firing its full broadside. I want to see the ungodly amount of cannons all just at the enemy. I want some of that. Can we have some of that?
All I heard is that GibGab wants to get.
Yeah, I did not follow that one at all.
Okay. Old wooden sailing ships, right? With the literal like cannons that fire the cannonballs, right?
Yeah.
If you want to get slightly nerdy about it, and to avoid overcomplicating it, later into the time period of the Age of Sailing, the British came up with a very rough, loose warship categorization. You had your ship of the line, which is a ship that would be in the line of battle, right?
Sure.
This changed a lot over time. Different ships were considered different ships of the line at different points in time. But towards the later parts of the era, we got roughly the definition of like ships going from 6th rate to 1st rate. The higher the rate, the bigger and beefier the ship. But also usually it would be more expensive, more special, and you would like treat it like the special baby that you're afraid to lose, right? So like you wouldn't send a 1st rate to chase some random pirate vessel, but you might send like a 4th or 5th rate to like go chase a dangerous pirate vessel. Also because they're faster and more maneuverable. But the bigger the ship, the more guns it had. And by the end of when we kind of stopped using this classification system, it had ballooned into size where like originally it's like, oh, what's a 1st rate? It has to have at least like 3 decks. Like, you know how like in the movies you would see the guns like all in a line in the ship on the side, and then the next line of guns, and then the next line of guns. You would have like a 1st rate would almost always be 3 of those and have a certain amount of guns. And by the later time periods, a 1st rate would have over 100 guns across 3 decks. Which is like, that's a lot of guns. That's 50 cannons per broadside minimum.
Gib Gab,
And I don't.
you're adorable.
But I'm complaining.
And?
I want movies to give me the ship going with the 50 cannons. I want to see the broadside.
But you're still adorable.
Why?
'Cause you are.
You're saying that, and Ryder's probably already muted me and gone, ugh, disgusting.
I don't believe that.
This is bait.
Yeah, I haven't muted you in like weeks.
Yeah. Fair enough. Although sometimes I question the wisdom of that. Now, look, point is, much in the way movies have the obsession with like World War II battleships and having them turn all of like the gun turrets or like the 9, 12 guns, whatever, how many barrels they have, and just having the boom moment. I want that with Age of Sailing ships. Not enough.
Also, I wouldn't mute you over this. I think it's funny and cute that you keep talking about decks.
Why is it deck? Like, it's just a ship deck. I don't understand this one. This is a weird one. Simply explain.
Clearly, Gib Gab is just pining for time with Tal.
How? I need you
Yeah,
to
you're.
explain that leap in logic.
I mean, to be fair, it's Era that Gib Gab keeps going to about the East India Trading Company. So
God, of course. Did he mention it? I didn't even say key. I mildly commented to him because me and my friends were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, East Era Company, that's Era, or East India Trading Company, that's Era." That was like pirates.
yeah, let's spark that argument about the Jolly Roger again. That was really engaging and fun.
I could imagine.
Yeah, it's not like Talderius wrote an entire biblical essay about Jolly Rogers.
I believe it. I don't just not like. I don't just believe it. I am certain of it.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. He very much did.
Normally, I would say this about bottoms and not about like Tal, but like, gosh, hopeless.
That's funny because we say the same thing about you. At least you're cute though.
Yeah, but like, I'm hopeless, and I recognize and understand and accept it. You know, that's the difference. Yes. I caught pirates. Let's go. I'm playing Empire Total War because I decided to play bad games, and I'm sitting here like, I barely get naval battles half the time. Now that I finally get one, I'm like, yes, give me.
Well, that explains what that whole rant was from.
I mean, I've been okay. Look.
I am perceiving.
I just think we need more Age of Sail
Roll your dice.
ship games. Okay.
Yeah, let's see how well
No,
you
no.
describe this.
Don't make him roll the die. He's gonna roll a nat one. Ren was talking to him earlier.
Ah, true, true.
Well, I will just take solace in the fact that if Val was around, I'm sure she'd agree with me. The fellowship nerd. One of us.
So if you don't understand anything that GibGab is saying, like and leave a comment below.
Okay, but then what happens if people agree with me, huh?
Well, then they can like, leave a comment below, and then join the stream and say they agree with GibGab, which
It's
would be
so true.
terrifying in its own right. Anyone saying that in chat, ugh.
Come on, people. Join the chat just to prove right and wrong.
Alright, got all that planted. Good.
Ha ha ha! Let's go.
I'm glad GibGab's excited about it all being planted.
I know. It's so considerate of him.
I got the perfect shot off and the magazine exploded and I'm just happy now. The thing went boom. You know, it's actually really interesting. I barely ever use some of the smaller ships of the line, but like they're actually being really good at pirate hunting, which is funny because I was just commenting that that's one of the things they were often used for whenever they were used like that. And I'm sitting here like that actually like it works out really well.
That,
Usually pirates are
that
just
is
really
very
annoying.
funny.
But no, this time around I'm just like win.
Ah, 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 ah,
Perish.
ah, ah, ah. What was that?
Cherish. How dare.
Yes, I will cherish you. You are a wonderful friend, and I appreciate your company and all of the things that you ramble about, even if I can't understand
mom.
half of them.
Your mom.
What about her?
How dare.
How dare what?
How dare.
You know, just saying the same thing over and over is not helping me understand what you're on about.
Yes.
Keyman, would you stop having break risks? Please?
Oh yeah, so as an update to my computer thing, um, this morning it did have another one of the critical shutdowns,
Oh
but
no.
it was before I installed the drivers, so maybe the driver issue is still going to get solved. I kind of doubt it though. I started looking into the return process to make sure I could actually get a refund because I think at this point I'd rather just go back to Apple than try and fight another one of these. And while I was looking through that, I found um, a video on the Amazon support page for this PC, and the video said mini computers space colon space won't work. So I gave it a watch just to see if it would magically have some information to help me because in the reviews, other people had talked about this issue and they had talked about it being a driver issue. Well, when I watched the video, it actually did bring up if the computer is turning off unexpectedly to get a voltage suppressor or um, no, it was a voltage protector or a surge suppressor, which I guess surge suppressor is a different way to say surge protector, but voltage protector or a voltage protector is something apparently different. Either way, this led me to wonder. So the only times I've had the critical shutdowns on this computer were very unexpectedly in the morning, um, right around the time that I would be making food. So it seems very possible that it's occurring as a result of, various appliances going on or off, but it's not consistent and I don't know for certain. And I don't know if there's an easy way for me to like avoid this problem.
I have no idea, I'm afraid.
I mean, depending on how you're feeling about it, if that's the concern, I'd try recommending maybe a UPS on Amazon. That you can refund still for like 30 days. So you can just like order it, test it, refund. The only problem is, especially if you're gonna get something over like 500 watts, that's probably gonna be closer to $200. Or 150-ish. Or what Vari said, that your main panel probably has a loose ground. But that's Vari's knowing, not me. I have no clue. I only know how to troubleshoot computer.
Honestly,
I don't touch electricity.
I wouldn't be surprised if your dome has some problems after, getting hit by lightning.
Well, it was the satellite dish, like 15 feet away from my dome that got hit by lightning, but there's other factors to consider, like the wiring probably wasn't done professionally. Um, so I absolutely have no idea, like what circuits are separate. I know there are a few circuits, but I mean, as far as I can tell, it might as well all be on the same circuit and just like a, a total mess. I can try and figure it out, but I'm probably not going to be successful. Um, But the I don't. The thing is, it's not a consistent issue, which is what really sucks. Like I can't just turn on my microwave and then my computer turns off. So I don't like get to test it that way. But the problem is it's a mini computer, which means it's using a processor that's actually meant for a laptop, but is recased into a desktop solution with, a couple of desktop important things like better I/O and better memory housing and stuff like that. So what's going on is the CPU actually requires very little voltage, but is probably very sensitive to voltage changes because typically it would be used in a situation where it's getting battery power, where the power would be very consistent.
You could probably try running a benchmark full tilt for a few minutes just to force it to max out power usage. That way, like the CPU is basically cranked out as much as it can, and so is the power supply within the thing. And then try testing the appliances that way, because then basically you're pushing the PC as much as you can. And I assume there a small change in voltage would probably cause a crash.
I don't know if it would, but I mean, I'm kind of torn on this because, like, obviously, I don't intend to live in this concrete dome forever. And presumably, if this is the case, then the issue will be resolved immediately upon moving literally anywhere else, basically. One thing I am wondering, like, I might go ahead and purchase a new surge protector because it's possible that my surge protector with lightning strike actually got messed up enough that it's no longer really handling voltage well anyway.
Actually, yeah, that you
So
should definitely do that.
yeah, that's something that came to mind, and I also don't even know how old it is. So.
Yeah, when it comes to surge protectors, you generally get one use out of them. Granted, that's not. Sometimes you get lucky with a little bit more, but it's not usually worth it to take the chance.
I mean, the thing is, it's just such a weird situation where the only thing that got damaged of my electronics was just my Mac, which, again, it was a Mac Mini, so it was also running at a very, very low voltage, kind of like a laptop, but in a desktop casing. So a small voltage change would have been enough to like cause a critical error. Uh, but I do have like other electronics with actual power supplies. Like I had a Steam Deck that was connected. My tablet didn't get any damage. My monitors didn't get any damage. Like I don't know. It was just such a weird situation. But yeah, so purchasing a new surge protector is something I'm probably going to do. And I am wondering, like, a possible temporary solution, if this is what's going on, I wonder how easy it would be for me to set up, like, literally just put it on an external battery supply and then have the battery supply connected to the surge protector. So basically, it's getting all its voltage from the power supply. But yeah, it's a it's a mess. And honestly, the easiest solution is probably just me returning it and going back to Mac.
Honestly, at that point, I just remind especially if you're running a low voltage system, just get a fairly low voltage UPS. Usually, you don't want to combine them or external batteries and surges. They're made to work directly off of the wall. Everything I've been taught is just said don't mix them. That's bad. Both for the health of each other and potentially for your electronics when it comes to dealing with either a surge or just bad power for the battery. At that point, I just recommend a small UPS, which will have an inbuilt battery and should be able to, like, if there's a variance in voltage, they'll be able to handle it.
That's fair. But like, I mean, I could go through this and test these things, but the problem is, it's like, I don't have a consistent way to cause this issue. So I'm going to like do this stuff, and then nothing's going to change, and it's just going to be Schrodinger's issue. Either I solved the problem or I didn't, and it's just going to suddenly shut off 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. That's so annoying. I hate those issues. Hmm.
Oh, apparently there is water underneath this floor.
Technically, there's water underneath every floor.
I am meeting right here where I'm at.
Yeah.
Alright, I will be fixing this.
Yay.
Sure, that's a word for it.
Yay?
Not yay.
Oh yeah, Gib Gab, it's been a while. Any updates on your coworker's persona?
Nope. I'm pretty sure he'll be uninterested in getting a persona because I believe he's headed to Japan.
I don't know, that
And,
sounds like he might be even more interested in getting...
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, he's going to be in the center of kimono?
Because they're expensive. Flights are expensive, apparently. Especially across an ocean.
You should tell him all about the benefits of naval travel.
Of what?
Naval travel.
Oh, that's true. I can rant to him about boats, too. Now I know what to talk about tomorrow. I'll be sure to let him know you brought this upon him.
Does he know me by name or something? What?
I don't think so.
What? Why do I care then?
I'll tell him that the artist that he wanted to commission for the dragon is the one that spurred the 3-hour rent on boats.
Well, good. Now he knows that I'm just thinking fondly of him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him to chat with his, you know, work husband.
No. Remember, that got that pineapple.
When?
A little while back.
Oh, fair
I
enough.
just don't usually. Yeah.
But either way, Gib-Gab rants are adorable.
Alright. Thank you for your blessing. I will now go on a 3-hour rant about why boat.
Give Gab rants are why I started believing in hypnosis.
What? I need that one explained. I'm sorry. What?
Because you just start talking and all of a sudden my mind goes hazy and I'm not listening to the voice anymore. And I just find myself with music turned all the way up. It just happens automatically without any control for myself.
Zamrajan's bullying me.
He is simply stating facts.
Your cringe is a fact.
Pat the Gib-Gab.
I will
Pat,
commit
pat.
violence.
Pat.
Okay, it's probably beneficial for me to kill the pirates, but I want the pirates to remain alive so I can keep fighting cool naval battles with them.
I really need to do Total War Warhammer again.
Warhammer's stinky. Play Empire. It's like the worst one, but also the best one.
Well, which is it?
Both. It's terrible, but also cool.
Okay.
It has certain things it does that I think are pretty cool, but God, it's awful. it does so many things that I look at it and I go, but why? Why are you doing this? And then there are things it does where I go like,
Wow,
well,
that's the same exact reaction I have to Give Gab. That's crazy.
This is the part where I start pretending that it's really hurtful and I actually feel really bad about it, and you're gonna make me cry. Tragedy and heartbreak.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know that's all bullcrap. We had enough deep chats that I know you appreciate my company and you appreciate the bluntness that I say that. Listen, your rants have merit, but they're not for me. I don't know who they're for.
SMH. It's all about Zim. It's always Zim.
What about
I
me?
believe this. It's the implicit saying. The thing that's for Raijin is you. It's always you. Next up, he's gonna tell me that he wants to kiss you.
None of my turrets are gonna shoot this guy.
Turrets are on strike? Yeah, they're supposed to strike people.
To be fair, Give Gab, it's them that's enabling my bad behavior. Before Zim, I mostly kept this in private.
Zim, we're gonna have to like yeet you clearly.
Gonna have to what me?
Yeet you.
Ah. But why?
You're enabling Rajan's bad behavior.
Okay,
His
okay,
no words.
okay. So, like, Gibgon, listen. You don't want to eat the Zen. So you have to consider he's a sable. So he's part sable, part kangaroo. As a sable, that means if you were to eat him, he would become an extremely dangerous flying weapon. But then as a kangaroo, he has the ability to hop afterwards and conserve his momentum like it's a video game. And as a result, by eating him, he's just going to fly all over the place and speedrun everything.
Zim is in trance. He can't double jump in the air like that. He's also not Brazilian. These are factually incorrect statements.
I am Marten.
You're not Brazilian. The only person in ZGF who can double jump is Chris Alves, I'm pretty sure. And like, however many trans people there are.
Hi, Fetch.
Australians can't double jump either, I'm sorry. I mean, Zim, are you part Brazilian or something?
No.
Yeah.
Have you?
He's not Brazilian, Fetch. Hey, Fetch is the one asking, not me. I know Zim has, like, not a speck of Brazilian in him. Sorry, Zim.
Why are you apologizing to me?
You're not Brazilian, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You can be
Don't worry,
sus to
Zim. You're worth a Brazilian in my heart.
I am confused.
Good. I'd be worried if you weren't. Being such a massive gremlin. I'm like giga cheesing the trade system here just to like continue reserving places where trade ships are supposed to go by grabbing a single random ship that I have lying around and just planting it there and being like, alright, this is mine now. You have like this big trade fleet incoming? Sorry boys, we have one little boy here. You're gonna have to fight me if you want it.
Mala keeps getting
And this
diarrhea.
is why. Oh, okay.
Sorry, what? I stopped listening for a moment.
I said Mala keeps getting diarrhea.
He deserves it.
That was my thought.
It was his fault he eats British food.
Hi, Kieran. I need a fence. Alright, do that. Do a gate here. I don't like the looks of that, so you get canceled. Put that in there. And there we go. We'll have all this ancient stuff get deconstructed in here.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay. Winning. My favorite sport is making myself a porcupine.
Ah, you turn yourself into a porcupine?
Yeah, I sit here and I go, I dare you to attack me. Go ahead and make my day. Very prickly.
Go ahead, make my iPod. Go away, boomalopes. I do not want you here.
Bumalope's such a weird name. I like it. Can we have more weird, funny names like those?
Why are you all just couple... Okay, I guess you're just an animal, so that's fine.
Wow.
Well, they keep collapsing due to extreme exertion. Extreme exhaustion. There's like... There are beds! Hello, Wernie!
Oh, wow.
Pat the Wernie!
Ah. Bleep. Decank is actually kind of funny because like I've had really good experiences with APC's UPSs, and I'm comfortable at least like especially the ones that have replaceable batteries, just swapping out the battery pretty quickly. The trip lights I have had moments with. I mean they're fine. There's just the couple of occasions where I've been like, ugh, I hate you.
Okay, who's my best doctor? Key is. Go tend to the Marten. Why won't you tend to them? Oh, I guess they were tended to. Alright, let's remove all this old flooring. So that way grass can grow. Nutrition growth is currently at 3.6. Consumption is 0.88. Cool. So that'll just keep them fed forever. Though, I do need to step away, everybody. Gip Gap. I require a rent to keep them entertained. Please?
Sorry, Raijin. You ordered one. Not much more I can do about it. I mean, honestly, for the most part, my current recent thoughts have just been stuck in, like... I don't understand one thing, okay? I don't understand the duality of people who will simultaneously be like, I have a problem, but even though this is literally your job, I don't want to inconvenience you by calling for help. Which, like, okay. And then you have people who will be like, I am going to poke the help desk every time this issue that I have already been told stop calling us over appears because it's mildly inconveniencing me. And I have to sit there like, this is so annoying. I am so glad I'm not the person dealing with it. I don't know how the administrator's dealing with it having ripped off his head because existentially stressful. Oh my goodness.
And do you want to understand?
It kind of, because like there's just like completely opposite kinds of people and they just exist simultaneously in the same place. I honestly kind of don't get it.
I mean, ultimately, it's a mixture of a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's it comes down to uh, either a level of emotional empathy or lack thereof that has been developed, or an amount of emotional pride or lack thereof that has developed. Um, so, for example, the people who will have a problem but won't call either have a level of pride that prevents them from feeling like they can call. Oftentimes, when you look back at their childhood, they would have experienced situations where attempting to get help, they were either pushed away or left alone. So they have bad internalized feelings towards searching for help, or otherwise they have the impression that they're supposed to solve everything on their own, um, which then builds up an anxiety where, like, if they can't solve the issue, then they would rather not think about the issue and just try and ignore it, even if that's going to make it worse, because that's their main coping mechanism.
Yeah, that I can understand more because, ouch. But yeah. But then
And
how
then the
does
people who,
yeah.
the other people, I mean, that could simply be just like a total lack of, I mean, a lack of intelligence and a lack of emotional awareness to understand the difficulties that they are themselves creating. It could be a learned helplessness, where they feel like there's no sense in them trying to solve things on their own because they don't feel that there's any benefit or reward to it.
To be fair, that makes sense. Um, I know it's happened a couple of times, but it usually is more along the lines of like, it's someone who we have explicitly told this is what we can do, or like this is the solution, or basically this is all we can do. I'm sorry, right? Can't do much more. And they'll just keep calling over and over and over again. Like they'll call 3 times and send 2 different emails to 2 different people. And I'm like, you already got the solution. I mean, if you want to seek out like a second opinion, that's kind of fair, but like you've called 3 different people and they've all told you the same thing, and we've had to make like 2 tickets and then delete one of them because it was like extra. And like at this point, you're sending another email, and it's like, can you not just take the answer? You want me to bend reality? Or the guy in question who prompted this whole like, why are people like this? A
I mean,
specific application.
that there absolutely is a sect of people who believe that, you know, they have to be annoying or invasive to actually get the correct answers and to be treated correctly, because they think that if they aren't acting that way, then they're just going to be brushed off. And usually, not always, but very frequently, this is itself a form of projection, because that's precisely how they would treat other people. They would brush other people off and They project that attitude onto others. Or on the flip side, it's someone that just genuinely forgets or doesn't understand.
That would be excusable if it weren't for the fact that we create tickets and they get a direct email with the ticket when we create it.
Yeah,
So,
Gab, may I
they
remind
can
you
just notate
the
for you.
average adult literacy rate in the United States?
Okay, they're literate. They definitely are literate. I know they're literate because they can send and read emails. It just, I mean, I guess that like being annoying part makes more sense. I sometimes really wish we did more like explanation of how our processes work to the average person, because sometimes I feel like people just genuinely don't understand how like the structure works, or that like if you call me, I will try to solve your issue on the spot, because if I can, why not? If I can solve your issue, I escalate it, but that's out of my control at that point. That's why we make a ticket, so you can keep track of it too.
I mean, that's admirable, but you have to consider the possibility of it getting totally corrupted. As an example, for a different a different sort of department that would encounter these kinds of issues, you know how long the rumor mill has been going around that if you want a good deal on your cable bill, you should call and threaten to cancel?
I mean, to be fair, I've heard it around. But also, in all fairness, sometimes companies will do very weird things for very weird reasons.
I mean, I'm not making commentary on whether it works or not. I'm just saying that is folk wisdom that if you want a cheaper price on your cable bill, you should call and threaten to cancel.
Yeah.
And you have to consider the consequences of what happens when wisdom like that seeps into the public consciousness and the kinds of conclusions people will come to from that kind of thing.
I mean, I guess it just. In all fairness, like I know to some extent there is just because like people don't even understand computers. How can I hope they understand that what an IT department functioning is, right? Like I mean, even like within if you work in IT, half the time you go to an IT department at a different company and they operate completely differently. So it's like, but at the very least, the bare bone basics still remain. Where it's like, if they have an immediate helpline, they are there to help you with the stupid, silly little issues that you can solve on the spot. And maybe sometimes you get like a very good tech who can respond to issues far above their pay grade. But for the most part, like my job is to help you with the very simple stuff. And if I can't, to throw your ticket where it needs to be, because that's the part of my job that actually is worth something. It's basically being like, this sounds like a this issue. Because I can tell you like, hey, what's the KDVF v1 error on Windows? Well, you look at it and you go, oh, it says call the help desk. Cool, they call the help desk. What I hear is, oh, your computer needs to be updated from Windows 10 1803 to Windows 10 22H2 at minimum, because that breaks the encryption, the TPM module for it. I know that. I immediately know who to assign it to. That's my value. But people think my value isn't like solve my problem. When it's not. I give you the person who can solve your problem. Because that's not my job.
I'm glad you boiled down your value in such succinct terms.
I mean, that's all I'm worth at the help desk. That and, like, I guess being personable to people sometimes. Which you might find surprising, but, you know. That's basically it, because otherwise, what do? I just tell people to solve the problem. Sometimes I know how to solve it, I just literally don't have the power to solve it. I don't have, like, the rights or the permissions, or it's just not my job, so I'm not going to solve it, because it's not my job. Or it would cause issues or be complicated. But like that kind of thing, just I guess people just genuinely don't like know that, and I can't blame them, because today I got a call where I like momentarily despaired when someone asks me, "Hey, why does my computer pointer turn into a hand?" And I just didn't know how to respond for a minute, what do I answer to that? And I tried to understand where that person was coming from with the question, and effectively their concern boiled down to, I'm afraid that whenever my mouse pointer turns into a hand, that it means that someone else has hacked into my computer. And it like changes hands into like two different shaped hands, because there's the hand sometimes that'll make when you're dragging something. And it's like, so you're worried like two people are hacked into your computer? No, that just happens when you click over a hyperlink. Which I could show you, but she wasn't remoted into her computer, so I just had to explain it to her. And it's like, look, if you ever have doubts, just call us. It's fine. You don't have to like worry about it. That this is our job. It's fine. I'm happy to explain this, because she had been worrying about this for weeks, which was the double gut punch of like, you think someone hacked into your computer for weeks and you told nobody? Why? I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right that people roughly probably have a general idea of how tech support is supposed to work, with no acknowledgement of the fact that it will change significantly if you're talking about customer facing tech support versus like internal tech support, which is very different. I do not care about keeping you on as a customer. You are an employee. My job is to fix your issues so that you can get to work again. And not to piss off the wrong person so I don't get fired.
Also, you have to keep in mind, it was only just a few generations ago that the children were eating lead paint.
I mean, there's still leaded pipes. I really should consider lead poisoning as a cause for so many of the questions that I sometimes get that are just completely incoherent.
Honestly, once you start adding that to your list of potential answers, the world makes a lot more sense. Like, oh yeah, lead poisoning was a thing.
Yeah, you're right, honestly. Oh, I hate it, genuinely. God.
Like, Gab, do you know the history of unleaded gasoline and why we have to specify that our gasoline is unleaded?
Yes. I actually wrote a really big part of that in my high school extended essay related to like because I remember researching a big part of it for my high school extended essay when I was doing research on the things that the U.S. sold to Germany pre-World War II and how they supported Germany during and pre-World War II with their technology and stuff. And gasoline was one of them. A lot of the techniques in refining gasoline, including airplane.
Wernie, what did you blow up today?
He But yeah, I don't know, man. It actually does baffle me that I have seen a couple of people be like, "Why can't I buy leaded gasoline? I want to," and I'm like, "Why?" Oh well, it's better than unleaded gasoline. It runs faster, dude. We have like actual modern octane boosters that pretty much replaced it, and don't like eat your brain and lungs. Maybe the world would be a better place if we took all the people with lead in their brains and sent them to an island. Maybe you're
Well,
right on this.
Gabby, you have to consider, like, if you're going down that line of thought, we're just a few generations away from people being like, oh, it was only a few generations ago that people had plastic in their brain.
Yeah, But you know what? At the very least, I don't look at plastic and go, yes, give me more plastic. I love the taste of plastic. Which, I mean, I
Okay,
guess that's what.
you don't do that, Gab, but do you know what labubus are?
Actually, no, I don't know what that is. I've seen the word around. Even is that? Let me Google it.
It's the latest craze. The people who collected all the Funko Pops have moved on to labubus.
Why? Okay, is this the kind of thing where people are obsessed about actually collecting them, or they're obsessed about buying them so they can scalp them?
Yes.
God, I hate scalpers. I hate scalpers so much. Literal scum of the earth. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even go to Lavubus. I would just go to the fact that people will die on the hill of wanting a plastic straw, and not even like the good kind. They want the disposable plastic straws, just because I don't know, they taste better. It's like, at least get a reusable one. If you're gonna go for a long-term straw, just get a metal one.
I should get a man purse so I can carry around a metal straw and metal chopsticks around with me at all times.
But chopsticks normally are wooden. This wouldn't even be a problem.
Plastic straws aren't really a thing here anymore in New Jersey. They banned them like 2 years ago.
Wish. I mean, plastic doubly infuriates me because here we have like a literal miracle material that we can use for genuinely so many applications and that we kind of need to. And we're like, yes, let me use it to drink smoothie because it tastes better than.
Actually, I've got a genius idea. We can market the metal straws as being leaded.
God, no.
Oh no. If you want a leaded drinking apparatus, just get a fucking, what are those things called? Those stupid cups.
Okay, Lucci, see, that's the thing.
The Stanley
don't-
cups.
Lucci, you don't need your disposable plastic straw that you're getting for like your McDonald's cup to be functionally better than a paper straw because you're gonna use it for all of like 5 to 10 minutes that you're gonna throw it away. That's why the paper straw is fine because sure, it's gonna not last as long or dissolve or whatever. Exactly. Throw it in the trash. You're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, we usually just get paper straws for everything here, because the plastic ones are hard to come by. So
If you're gonna go for a
Starbucks
walk?
for some reason has... Actually, no, I think Starbucks, they give plastic straws, but they're like those biodegradable ones. It's my Starbucks drink. It's a plastic straw in it right now.
Fair.
But also, there's no plastic bags in New Jersey at all. So you have to bring bags. And people bitch about that all the time. Just like, you know, I just keep like a whole thing of plastic bags in my car. I mean, not plastic bags, but like the reusable cloth or, you know, reusable plastic bags.
I mean, my point of view is that it's such a stupid thing, and I'm coming from this from the point of view of someone that works retail, someone that works Walmart. The amount of plastic that we produce in the process of shipping all the junk that people just must buy constantly far outweighs a couple of plastic bags.
Yeah, but the thing here, it's more of like, it's less of, oh, we're wasting plastic on plastic bags, and more of, we want to stop seeing fucking plastic bags every fucking where. we
I
walk
mean, true.
because they end up all over the place.
Yeah, because that's kind of the other like, it's the twofold problem. Like, if you want to reduce actual plastic usage and actually like properly effectuate environmental change, that has to be done on like industrial scales.
Yeah, the
But
plastic
also-
bag thing is more of they were just ending up all over the fucking place, and people got tired of seeing them.
Yeah, then
So-
they
That's
do-
super valid.
It's first off, I'm back. Hi. Sorry about that, everybody.
I couldn't tell you were back.
You, sorry, it's just, you literally just jumped into the ring already. Didn't even tag out the other person. You're just ready to start boxing.
So, backing up a little bit to the straw thing. It's probably the autism side, but certain paper products, I cannot use them because of the texture of them. And I don't know how else to describe it aside from that. I'm very much okay with doing, like, I'm okay with certain paper straws. I've had them before, and some of them were fine. But a lot of them just have this texture to them, and the same goes for some paper cups, that I cannot use it, period, because it is... The texture just throws me through a loop.
That is like unironically probably an autism thing. I know, like, there's the whole thing of like autistic people and textures, and just no. You feel this? No.
There's a certain kind of material that's frequently used for like those zipper binders that just, if I feel it, I die.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I mean, honestly, it's the reason why I've never been able to do a lot of string instruments, because like, if there's a string that has like a certain type of scratchiness and I rub my finger over it, it's just like no. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's not sharp. It just
The texture just drives you wild. Another example of something is bread pudding. I love the taste of it. Mushrooms as well. I do like the taste of mushrooms. Well, what taste there is. But the texture of them...
Okay. Have you ever had morels?
I have no idea.
I'm assuming you've only ever had basically white mushrooms and baby bella mushrooms then.
Possibly.
We should try and get you a decent portobello at some point, at least.
portobello mushrooms.
I fucking hate onions. I mean,
Well-
I love the taste of onions, but I can't stand the texture of them. So I won't eat onions and things.
Yeah. It's also the same reason why I can't really stand shrimp as well. That's another thing. And
Shrimp
other...
is bugs.
The texture of shrimp itself, just no.
I just don't really like shrimp.
But
Like the texture does throw me off a little bit as well.
I mean, I'd be willing to try it, Raijin. I can't say I can't guarantee that the texture will be good, but yeah.
I can't say anything about the texture, but like the most mushrooms that are used in terms of like industrial quality, like on pizzas and stuff like that, those are very bland, boring mushrooms. there's a huge world of mushrooms out there that you basically don't really get to try unless you're super hardcore into mushrooms and are outright keeping track of seasonality and stuff like that. Like morels are a great example. Morels are delicious, but they're in bloom for like, I don't know, 2 half days out of the year. And you can only find them shining under pure moonlight.
Sometimes I think I judge pointless MMO gather quests too harshly.
And then you remember that, no, you don't.
Yes, but also like literally things like these exist. It's like, look at this mushroom. It blooms twice a year, and under these specific conditions, go get some for me.
Oh, okay, but listen, in an MMO, it's a pointless sidetrack that has no relevance to the story and is completely boring and exists simply because people don't want to actually play the combat of the game. In
Yes.
real life, you actually get mushrooms to eat.
Yeah, and they're probably good, and then you have that nice experience that you had, and it's based and cool.
Like in Final Fantasy 14, you can be what is it, like level, I want to say Heaven's Word.
Heaven's Word is 60.
I think it's level 68 or so, that you would be going out and gathering literal poop. Because you've saved the world several times at this point. You can slay gods, but no, you got to go gather poop.
Era died!
Get the boop boop. I just had one of my colonists die after we had a big battle against machanoids.
Era is going to
Machanoids?
be very upset.
Machanoids were any, as opposed to Windows-anoids or Linux-anoids. Got him. Well, look, if Era gets upset at dying, Era just shouldn't have died, clearly. SMH.
Yeah, SMH, my head.
Well, he was also my primary person to handle animals, so that extra sucks. Oh, you guys can resurrect him. Ah, thank you. Thanks, Blue Bat.
Them experiences no consequences.
Just like an MMO.
But yeah, my ultimate opinion on like plastic bags and plastic straws is like it's so performative because the root issue is that people as a whole just consume too much.
Yeah, but then you gotta get to the root issue of why people consume too much. And while there's a certain cultural aspect, I'd also raise the fact that, well, what's like, how much of the economy is just advertisement?
Oh, don't worry, it's only going to get worse. The
Yeah.
cocoa melon babies are coming of age.
Oh no.
And it just continues to be the intense spiral of like, yeah, we chose watching ads over paying is better because economic conditions were rough. And then things become rougher, so we just do more ads in exchange for paying less immediately because paying $5 for a game is too much. I'd rather watch the ads on the game. Especially on mobile.
All I hear is Gabby going rough.
You say that, but I am saying actual things. And critically. I do agree though, like plastic straws are very performative, but like yeah, it's just water pollution because like I think it's not so much the amount of plastic there is so much as the area they cover. Straws and bags are like two really big pollutants in terms of like getting into habitats and polluting animals, like feeding grounds or just getting eaten by animals. And it's really, really bad. It's doubly stupid because it's a really easy problem to solve. We can just get rid of them. There is literally nothing wrong with just getting rid of them. But we just don't
Right.
want to.
Sure, but then I will gesture at the singular potatoes that are shrink wrapped in plastic for purchase at Walmart that we sell a shocking amount of every day.
Why are they wrapped like that?
I would disagree that it is performative. I think that that is a good step, removing that source of plastic. The problem is that that is one step, and we're not doing the rest. Like you mentioned, the singular wrapped potato, the freaking the freaking packaging that you get a bag of something in plastic, and then each individual item inside of that bag is also wrapped in plastic.
Labubu's.
Labubu's.
I mean,
I'm not against. I'm not against. Plastics that are meant for things that are meant to last. But it's the disposable stuff, the stuff that the only purpose of it is to use the item and then throw away the plastic.
I mean, so like I said earlier, I'm coming from the point of view of working at a retail store. I can literally do that meme from SpongeBob SquarePants with the diapers in the wall and then gesturing out the window, and it's just a dump truck of diapers. That's effectively what it is when you actually work retail and see the industrial scale plastic. The thing is, I say it's performative because, sure, technically it's making an impact, and yes, there are benefits to it, but we're skipping several points of the whole the whole plan that was supposed to help. The first word is reduce. Reduce is the first word.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's particularly why sometimes it grates at me that we get stuck in the first place in like, hey, what if we just ban like the stupid disposable plastic stuff that we can just live without? It will not cause a net negative harm to our lives. It will only cause good things. And people are like, no, because I like the feel of the plastic straw better. It's like, okay, so we're getting hung up on that already. What do you think is gonna happen when it's like, let's get rid of...
My opinion is like, we could just ban Starbucks. We could just kill Starbucks. Starbucks provides no tangible value to the world. It only hurts the world. Let's be real.
I work for Starbucks.
It provides one tangible benefit. A singular one.
But also, you're not wrong, Raichen.
It baffles me that people love Starbucks because the only thing I've ever thought like was okay was like when they offer like, hey, $1 cookies, and they're like big cookies, and I'm like, okay, sure, fine. But otherwise, it's like the coffee's disappointing and the food is terrible. Why would you go there? I could get like a $5. I could get like a $5 egg, bacon, cheese wrapped thing at Starbucks, or I could just like go to like, I don't know, Walmart and get like 2 sodas and a couple of other $1 things, and then like
I mean, there's that. But here's the thing: you could get instant coffee, syrup, ice, and a blender. And for the same amount of time as it would take you to drive into the Starbucks and get around the massive line of all the Fent zombies that are just shambling their way through Starbucks because they can't live without their sugar rush, you could spend all that time just making it yourself in a cup that you reuse with a straw that you reuse and solve so many problems. You would save money. You would save on pollution. You would save time, probably. But people don't like that. People don't want to do that.
mean, it doubly grates at me too because there is a genuine spot for like coffee shops that just make good coffee, especially at work.
Yeah,
But
there's
then,
a couple
like-
good coffee shops around me I go to a lot. So I like getting my espresso drinks.
But Starbucks
Espresso
is
cures
just,
my depresso.
yeah, but Starbucks is just bad coffee in the first place. Everyone I know who liked Starbucks at some points has just shifted to making their own instant coffee. Because
Well,
why go to Starbucks
I-
to get it? We can just make it at home.
Yeah, I'm talking about me going to like a locally owned coffee shop.
Yeah, because usually at least you get good coffee there. Starbucks is just
Yeah.
like bad coffee.
Also, I also like go to those a lot because I like when I worked from home, I would get like very depressed because I was home all day and I'm like a very social person. So I would literally go like they can get a coffee just because I wanted to talk to people.
That's understandable.
I will say that coffee shops do have that purpose. They are a community location to gather.
They're a third place.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Starbucks is not, especially
That
mind
said,
you,
it would be nice if we had less of them. So that way people, kind of congregated more.
see it actually grates at me even more with that because like I swear places like Starbucks are determined to have the tiniest locales and to have as many of them as humanly possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, in my town, in my city, there's 3 Starbucks within like 5 miles.
Dude, it's. I mean, it's on purpose. It's like a business strategy. I know, because like the owner of one of the largest retail like clothing stores, and I think it's in Spain, literally said that his goal was to have one of his stores on every major corner of every major city, so there could be no competition whatsoever, and he did not care how much individual money each store would make because he would just kill the entire competition, and he basically did. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
That's capitalism.
Yeah, still.
Okay. I do not like that event. But it does give me a bunch of resources. It also gave me a bunch of volleys that I wish were still alive so I could, try and capture and convert them.
So
them all.
yeah, I had that and I got actually like 4 colonists from one of those events once. I was able to save them in time.
I
It's
got
the
one
battle in
that's...
orbit.
Yeah, I got one that survived, and they're unwaveringly loyal.
Aw.
Okay, so that first set of volley, fried chicken. The second one, you can probably make chicken tenders with.
Usually when they're unwaveringly loyal, I just make them a slave.
I
Why?
don't have slavery in my colony.
Uh,
Why would you make them a slave? They're unwaveringly loyal.
slavery. If they can't join, they become slave. Then they're still useful to me. And they can go out in them damn fields and start picking. Because I need somebody to make my giant farm work.
You know what? I really want some Avali in my colony. So... Let's see. We're
Avali
already
nuggies.
using crowd control, but it doesn't support something like this. Let's say... 200 bits each.
Perravali.
Hawaii.
And I will
Alright.
resurrect them. And I'll go through the normal recruitment process, provided they're not all unwaveringly loyal. Capture, convert, recruit, etc.
So this means that a volley campaign's happening then, right?
I would love one. Actually, we'll say 150 each. Since I'm going through all the conversion and all that.
Yeah, I'm just happy hearing the Avali love because after being on Avali so long in like VR stuff, I now like Avalis and would be on Avali.
I wanted to make an Avali character ever since I was playing Starbound forever ago. I just haven't gotten around to that.
Justice!
Do it. Do it in preparation for eventually getting a tabletop game going where you can play as the Avali.
Oh, while we
Gig Gab be
I
the
have my
storyteller for the
chicken
Avali
nugget.
campaign.
What was that, Ryden? Sorry?
Be the storyteller for the Avali campaign.
No. I'm too immature to be a storyteller. There are also many skills I would like to brush up on before I do so. I do not think I would be able to be a compelling storyteller at this point in time.
The entire meme about you is that you join voice so that you can tell stories about your life. You are a storyteller.
158 GBs.
Thank you for the biddies, Kenku.
Alright, but counterpoint. You would agree that my storytelling has many issues that I could easily brush up on to tell better stories. And until I feel I can tell reasonably good storytelling, then I would prefer brushing up on my skills here and there.
Okay. First of all, I'm hypercritical. Second of all, those issues wouldn't exist if you allow other people to talk, which is what happens in tabletop games.
I don't allow other people to talk. I will monopolize the entire conversation. It is all mine. Mine.
So it's Lick 2.0. Got it.
It's what?
Lost in Chaos 2.0.
Please explain joke. Me not get. Me dumb.
Anybody else want to help me get an Avali? Please?
I'm too busy chewing on this plastic knife, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I know this sounds dumb, but it's just we were talking about plastic, and I started fiddling with this like plastic knife that I had lying around because I hadn't used it, and then I just started biting into it. And it's like, well, it's comfortable to bite, and then I wonder and criticize people who microplastic.
Gib Gab skipping straight to macroplastics.
I need to step away again. I really apologize for this, everybody, but yeah.
My condolences.
Anybody willing? Please toss in a little more.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. I mean, to be fair, like, the main thing I've been interested in running in a weird sense has been like, I've really wanted to run a very dungeony combat heavy vibe, because I know we spoke about it a while back, and ever since then I've been thinking on it, and it's like, usually when I play in tabletops, it tends to be very character development, very story heavy, and I just have not had that itch for combat scratched in so long that at this point I've been sitting here like, I kind of want to do it. And I have been like recently, well, one of the reasons why I was looking at some tabletop systems as well is because I was sitting here like, how do I like even design combats in the first place? And with my group, since they're not interested in something like Scar, I was like, what could I interest them in to like get them to run basically like a little series of like dungeons that I can like work on? Because then I could brush up on making dungeons in the first place. Because obviously it's cliche, but that's kind of just what the vibe that I wanted to go for. And I was sitting here like, maybe I'll do that. And that's one of the things that I've been like looking into recently. But also, I haven't wanted to deal with 5e because I hate 5e. Which reminds me, I still need to read about that system you sent me a while back. But also, that's true. We haven't really done sci-fi in Scar. We should do sci-fi in Scar. That'd be cool.
Star Wars? Question mark?
Star Wars is like 50% sci-fi, 50% not.
You know, I bet Werny
50%
looks really
not?
cute as... Never
Marty
mind.
was really cute as what?
I'm out here trying to compliment Werny, and he just immediately pipes up asking about not.
But okay, Caleb, you can't. Star Wars is like, let's do sci-fi. But anyway, it's not. Which, like, I don't blame them because that's half of. I swear, sci-fi franchises just take sci-fi and go like, okay, but what if we just reflavor fantasy with like sci-fi aspects? The Force, that's just like magic. Lightsaber, yeah, we want sword fights. Ship-to-ship combat, that's pretty much just battleships. Barely even a hint of sci-fi in half of Star Wars. And it's kind of whack because oftentimes I feel like one of the things about sci-fi that you could get into is stuff like even like how you fight to some extent. I often feel just doesn't really get taken advantage of. It's one of the reasons why I find like Cyberpunk's like combat rework interesting whenever they did it, because they integrated a bit more into the gameplay, some of the cooler Cyberpunk aspects. Like, yeah, go full in on stuff like what do you call them? Augments and bodily augments and stuff. Like, yeah, you don't have to wear super heavy armor. You can just augment your body to be the heavy armor. Will it slow you down? Sure. You won't be able to double jump. Or you want to use these guns that basically aim themselves? Here you go. The shots will literally bounce around the room. It's kind of wacky and kind of cool, and I dig it. And I just, oftentimes I find a lot of sci-fi goes for the science fantasy more than like other science stuff. And I don't know, that just usually is, I feel, a missed opportunity. Also, we need more guns in Scar. Not enough guns.
Give Amos a gun.
No. What are we gonna give you, a grenade rifle? Ah. I'm gonna stop biting the knife. It's already like flaking plastic. Ah. I want pizza. I'll get pizza tomorrow. I won't. I want to, but I won't. Actually, I haven't really kept up with Piercing the Veil. Has Piercing the Veil made like more use of weapons in Scar? Because I haven't really like paid a lot of attention to the weapon system for a while. At least the equipment stuff. I don't know if either of you follow Piercing the Veil. I had the sudden urge. Are there any zombie like tower defense games that are good? Usually I love like zombie stuff and all, but I've never really paid attention, and Zomboid recently has given me an itch for like defense zombie kind of vibe. I just realized that apart from like, I guess they are billions, I haven't really seen most of these. So it's like, are there any actual like good zombie defense strategy oriented kind of things, aside from their abilities. I mean, sure, you could type in like Plants vs Zombies, but if you do that, no you. What is Gemcraft? Oh, I mean, fair. I guess it's just tower defense. Never heard of it before. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those hidden gems kind of thing. It's like recently I've been sitting here and it baffles me that people have never heard of Sid Meier's Pirates, because on one hand I can understand that it's ancient, but also it's so good.
Yes, Piercing the Veil has used more guns. They've actually had a lot of combat, so you should probably watch it.
I mean, I probably should. But also just unfortunate timing, because I get home and then I chill out for a bit and then I tune in for Wild Traditions. So Piercing the Veil kind of gets that eaten up.
Well, then I
Is
guess
there
I'll
Italian-
just have to cancel Wild Traditions so you have time for Piercing the Veil.
Why would you do that? It's like saying, ah, yes, let me take off my bulletproof vest so you can shoot me. What the fuck?
Alright, so one more call for helping me get more volley in my colony. 150 biddies.
A volley in the colony, a volley in the colony.
Alright, this one's got Bloodlust. Okay. That one can be turned into food. Oh, this one's
still think-
only a teenager.
I also will admit, like, it's a slightly funny side note on it. Like, I still am entertained by how I fell in love with the volleys, because usually I used to not really like them. Not as like a bad thing necessarily, it's just I didn't get the people liking them, and I know people love them, so it's like I don't get it. And also people who sometimes are too much with them, they give me bad vibes. And so they just always kind of got stuff there in the corner. And like I'd seen people who have a volleys and they were fine, so it's like it didn't bother me. And they were kind of cute, but that's okay. Yeah, but then I remember in VRC like looking for an avatar, and the moment I saw the volley that I used for the longest time, I was like, yes, this thing, this little gremlin, give me. And that was it. Ever since then, it was just that. And I just kind of fell in love with it over time.
So, Bluebat, the thing about a tower defense sort of campaign is you are talking about a very math heavy thing. There would be so much math that would have to be done for a campaign to be run with tower defense or building or such. And those really aren't that fun. As much as I wish they were, they're just not.
But the closest I've come conceptually to kind of like working around one is I had an idea a while back for one where basically the broad scope of it is you have home base within a broader location. During daytime you explore the location, and at nighttime you have to defend home base, and you can work out different, you have like a few different options to either make it easier or to prolong the attack or to like effectively try to sneak around it, be quiet, kind of avoid attention sort of thing. Totally not inspired by I Am Legend. And even then, that's kind of wacky.
And also, I will say that conceptually, the idea of constant dungeon runs sounds intriguing and potentially fun. In practice,
Well, that's my challenge, right? Because when it comes to those kinds of games, like I haven't really played one, so I want to like to an extent experience one and what makes it fun, as well as what I don't enjoy about it. Because some of the things I've enjoyed in the games where I've had more constant combat. Whenever there is at least like this one was years ago, so I would be really interested in playing in a similar one. Um, but every session or two we would have a combat encounter, and the spicy part of it was managing resources within the combat because it was spaced out enough that you didn't really have to worry about resources as a whole. So to me, what it lacked was a short-term burst of combat encounters, exploring a dungeon, where you have to manage the resources between the different combat encounters properly and within each combat encounter. And then once you complete that, you then get some downtime, you then get to do stuff, you then like go for story, you advance stuff, and then you return to like the dungeon. You just dungeon around. That's conceptually like the simplest vibe of it. And we didn't really get that. We just got like combat, story, combat, story, combat, story. And while the combats were fun because they lack that like pressure, well, there wasn't really any. It was story pressure.
Well,
But
the
not
other thing
pressure.
that's often missed in campaigns like that is if you're doing a proper dungeon run, you have to have engaging things that aren't combats. And what a lot of people go to is, oh, they think that means they need to make puzzles, but you have to have a very particular group to actually land a puzzle and a tabletop. Puzzles and tabletops are very sensitive things, but there's a lack of fundamental literature for storytellers to be able to reinforce creating notable challenges that involve the characters and engage them that aren't actual combats. Things like unique extended skill challenge, that kind of thing. That's something that isn't talked about very much, but is still a very core part of making a good dungeon.
See, I've been the first thing that I've like leaned towards is an easy one that's often overlooked is environmental challenges. It doesn't have to be a challenge, but something as simple as like, hey, look at this chasm. You have like vertical rock walls on the sides, and this bridge has collapsed. It's this long. How do you get across? There's like multiple ways, even if within like if you go for like 5e, there's multiple ways you can work to get across. If you were going to run into Scar, you can probably have a fair few items to like run you through that aren't just abilities. Everything from like, oh yeah, let's go do like climbing. Let's actually just climb the thing to like, can we build a bridge? Is there something we can knock over to try to get through this? And like, in a sense, it's forcing players to spend resources or to have been prepared, but also providing them like a challenge for both for all the characters to approach in different ways, which is not necessarily particularly specifically the most engaging thing. But even that can be like just more engaging than puzzle. Because the thing that bothers me about puzzles is sometimes I feel like my character wouldn't be as stupid as I am about the puzzle. That frustrates me usually. I'm like, I'm struggling with the puzzle because I'm stupid. Character would be. But yeah, it's weird to think about how to make a dungeon interesting with other mechanics other than combat. Because usually my default assumption to that is theming, like theming the dungeon after something specific to make it interesting in that regard. It's like, if this is the theme of the dungeon, I work with this. Create some limitations regarding to working with this theme to then force me to explore those options. And that just is a more interesting dungeon, I think, than just let me sprinkle in some random enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, TLDR, more pew pew. More smacking, more bonking.
Also, I think Bernie would be really cute in a barista outfit.
Rao?
Agreed.
Oh, wow.
Rainy, do you wear a barista outfit at work?
Yes.
Well, there you go, Ratchet. You just need an image. You need a picture.
I'm a cheerista.
You are my cutie.
What?
You mean Chudy?
Chi.
Oh crap, I'm out of silver.
Or you shouldn't be. Fix that.
Yep, working on that
Speaking
now.
of being on silver, when are you planning to end tonight?
The heck does that... How do those correlate?
They don't.
I've already, I'm already planning to end here soon.
Just come.
You hear how depressed Zim is about the idea of ending streaming viewers? Zim just loves streaming for you guys.
I do.
Also, a slight little side note that I just wanted to mention. It's weird how if you mangle plastic around enough and you like twist and turn it, it just becomes really soft. Like bubblegum.
Gip Gap, please stop.
What? I begun to like bend it one way and then the other over and over, and now it's like really soft and wiggly. And it's kind of satisfying. It's like Play-Doh.
Ah, yes. So it's turning into a fine particulate so that your body can begin to absorb it.
Well, that's why I'm not putting it in my mouth. I'm just fiddling with it with my fingers.
You have pores in your skin.
Well, they shouldn't absorb plastic. Sounds like my skin has a skill issue.
No microplastics.
Maybe the skeleton is right. Maybe we don't need skin.
Here at ZGF, we do not endorse anything that GibGab says, just as a general rule.
Well, I'm not saying to take your skin off. I'm just saying maybe the skeleton has a point. Please do not remove your skin. That is bound to have adverse consequences on your health.
This message was brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Oh my god.
No, it's brought to you by Gillette. Free your skin.
It'd be your skin.
I mean, I wish it was a joke, but I'm pretty sure it was them that literally had like as an ad campaign like, hey, Gillette, free your skin. Nope, no. I need to momentarily check, hold on. No, it was another company. It's such a weird campaign. I want to know how many quotes of me there are. I want a number.
A lot.
You need
How
to stop
many
quoting me.
gibs and how many gabs?
Someday I'm gonna get investigated and or like somebody's gonna write something about me and they're gonna look at my quotes and go, wow, what a horrible person. And I'm gonna be like, oh no. I mean, if you put them
Living in
into
a voice chat with GibGab, a memoir.
Look, okay. Just because the context doesn't make it better doesn't mean that I need to be seen as like a weirdo, okay? I get that I am, but that's not the point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel if I quoted you all the time like this, huh? Even though I do.
I mean, at least I wouldn't have to worry about too much on that.
You just don't say as funny things as I do, clearly.
Exactly. I'm rather boring.
You're not boring. You're just like... You are... vanilla cake.
So should I server mute you, Gabby, to take away that shovel?
Okay, look. It's as I've told my coworker.
I am perceiving.
There's nothing wrong with being basic or plain or quote unquote boring. Sometimes simple things are really delicious.
Are you calling them simple?
Sometimes. Sometimes Sim is a simple Martin. Zim just sees a strategy game, Zim likes. Zim plays. Zim being chillin'. Zim says things that won't get him banned on Twitch.
Unlike me.
Exactly. But then Zim can be weird and cool. Like, we go off stream and we watch a TV show, and Zim is like, hey, look at this, like, early 2010s weird spy show about burned spies. And I sit there staring at the orange reddish filter that makes it look awful, but also the series is so wacky and campy, and I'm sitting here like, this is hilariously great. What even is this? How did I miss this? And I appreciate when Zim is weird.
I see GibGab went with the route of using an industrial excavator instead.
Yeah, just a bit.
Okay, I will dig my hole as deep as it needs to go. Eventually, I'll come out the other side. How deep am I gonna dig my tomb? I'm into all the way through. Anyways, Em, I appreciate you. Just want you to know that.
Well, I appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Squeeze that Mart.
And for the record, I like vanilla cake.
What kind of cake am I, Gabby?
Oh, I can answer this one. So you are a cake that is sent to a prison. Half of it is sawdust. The icing has gasoline mixed into it, and there's a file in there.
Nice.
Otherwise, it's carrot.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably better than I was gonna say, which is just like, you're like a half-eaten wedding cake after everyone has gotten drunk and tried to cut the cake, but they can't cut in a straight line. Okay, Lucci, the problem is the red filter is what tells me that they want to make Miami look like Miami to people who have never been in Miami. But the people who want to make it look that way also don't know Miami's color filter. It's not red. It's a very not red city. Just does not capture the vibe.
I know New Jersey's color filter. This, it's not a color. You just desaturate the entire screen a bunch.
Okay, see, Lucci, I disagree. Mexico can be yellow. There are parts of Mexico that are very yellow. Like the desert. Which, sure, you might say is a small part of Mexico and not really representative of broader Mexico. But, you know, here we are. I just don't understand where red comes from. Like, why red for Miami? It does not fit.
Aww, one of my Martens died.
Of what?
It got into a fight with an
Ligma.
animal.
Bruh. How many more
What's
do you have?
Ligma?
Oh, gosh. Slugma? How about you, Slugma?
Can't believe Warney doesn't even finish the joke.
Sorry, I was focused on Arma.
It really depends on the desert, Lucci. It really depends on the desert.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, Antarctica is actually yellow filter too.
Ladies and gentlemen, my voice chat.
Um, like probably the best example I can bring up for that is it's not necessarily a desert in the typical sense, but in Venezuela there's a national park, Médanos de Coro. And when we stopped by on our road trip one time, it was very yellow. The color palette will change depending on the location in the desert and depending on the time of day. But if you just go during midday, it's pretty yellow, yellowish. It's tan if you want to like call it tan, but still. But it will shift into like very different colors depending on the time of day. It's really pretty. It's a very cool place.
All right, fine. I'll ask the question. What kind of cake am I, Gabby?
What do you want to know? I don't know why you're saying fine. It's not like I wanted you to ask the question. Namely because honestly, I have no fucking clue. um, what cake would I associate you with?
I'm waiting for this answer myself, so I'm quite curious.
Sweet corn cake. There you go. That's my answer.
Do you like that answer, Raijin, or should I ban him?
I don't know. That's up to you. But Gabby did basically just call me cornbread.
Cornbread is really good. Or at least I like cornbread.
British? I mean, normally corn cake is like more cake. Cornbread's like too boring.
Oh, my bad. I'm slightly more exciting than cornbread.
Just slightly, you're an actual cake. Well, like, okay. If you want the explanation, it's because a sweet corn cake has that like it's savory, it's simultaneously very dry, but also it's got that like wetness to it that you go like, yeah, it's still a cake. It's not, it's not cornbread levels of dry, but it's very, it can be very dry and harsh, but also it still has a certain sweet savoriness to it that you can be like, I can really appreciate this. Now, I don't like the sweet corn cake. It's not my kind of cake. But you're
Are you
definitely
implying
someone else's
something with
cake.
the dryness that you keep bringing up, Gabby?
Yes, that you can be very dry and blunt and direct, and you can be very like rough. Much like corn cake is for me. I had some earlier today, so it was on the mind. And I had to think, it's like, what kind of cake have I eaten that would be Raijin? And then I thought of the corn cake, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Raijin. I just had to run through a list of other cakes that I was like, no. But just keep in mind, at the end of the day, corn cake is still very sweet. No, CJ, I'm not talking about people's cake. I'm talking about what cake people are. It's very different.
Yeah, very different.
Why do we call it cake? Like, why do we associate butts with cake?
I have no idea. That is one of
because you
those memes I don't get either.
Is it because you put cream in it? Or on it?
Of course you go straight to in.
What can I say? I like it how I like it. You know what? I feel like this is going to be the thing where you're not going to get a straight answer because everyone and their mom has a different definition for why.
Probably.
So from a quick search, it seems like the the slang goes back to, like most other slang, either something that originated from prisons or something that originated from the Navy.
The Navy?
Roughly. Yeah, because apparently saying something is like a sailor's cake is a euphemism for a certain kind of intercourse relating to the rear.
The Navy's really gay.
What?
That explains a lot about timber.
Wow. Wow. He's not even here and you just called him out like that. Somebody clip it and send it to Timber.
So I was gonna say, I appreciate that you were trying not to be so explicit on stream, Good Gab, but did you consider the words that came out of your mouth and how redundant that was?
And how what was that?
Redundant that was?
Yes.
Okay.
Look, when I'm trying to come up with something in the middle of saying it while I'm also sleepy, it's just not gonna come out good. And also, it depends. You could have intercourse from the front, SMH. Not that it would be exclusive in this case, but I was trying to figure out a way to say it safe on stream and blah blah blah. Realistically, Wernie has the best answer. The Navy's really gay.
I mean, yeah, like when you're just stuck on a boat or a submarine for weeks or months on end with no sign of anyone else except for the same other dudes that you've been staring at for the last several weeks, things just happen. Words just come up.
Yeah. And then they refuse to have women on the boat. Because of course. Hey. I want cake. I want a delicious cake. Stockholm Syndrome gayness. Serio, no. I mean, to be fair though, I'm still pretty sure like most people are some level within the spectrum of bi. So it doesn't really like surprise me.
Yeah, I know I for sure am. Whenever I hear Gib Gab talk, I want to say bye.
Interesting. So you're turned on by that. I see. I mean, if that's your thing, you know, just hit me up and I'll rant about stupid, pointless stuff all night and overcomplicated stories that have no reason to be as long as
Gib Gab,
complicated.
what do you think me telling you to go to furry migration was?
I don't know. Why? Okay, you have to understand that you and I might have very different mindsets. Sometimes I just say things because I say things and I don't think about them. I feel like you think about the things you say way more than I do. Sometimes I think about what I'm gonna say. Sometimes I just don't.
I found that worthy of a quote.
That's such the spicy out of context quote.
Exactly.
Why are we giving Cereal the knife? Even when drunk, Raijin does not let his words out without thinking about them. I've never seen Raijin drunk. Can't confirm. Only Zim can. Clearly.
I am sure, like, when I was in my 20s, I would avoid alcohol because I was really scared of what would happen if my inhibitions were lowered and I wouldn't be thinking about the things that I would be doing. But now that I've gotten older and I have actually experienced getting shit faced, I'm just shocked at how much self control I still have.
That's fair. Dolomite, I share the exact same fear. That's one of the reasons I also don't like to drink. Apart from the fact that I don't like it, I also don't just like trust myself. I
Zim
already
has
spent.
experienced drunk and high awareness.
What was that?
Zim has experienced drunk and high awareness.
Yes, I have.
Isn't that just your regular space?
I don't think that's too weird, awareness. Yeah. Pretty sure I've experienced that when we used to hang out more in VRC.
Yeah. I'm in VRC. I'm either drunk or high, or both.
Of course.
How can you afford that when you are on Starbucks income?
I hardly can. I have like my checking account has like a total of $3 in it right now. That's why I'm applying to travel consulting jobs again, despite me not wanting to work in that field anymore. Because I am missing making $4,500 a month.
And let's be fair, you cannot afford anything else. Not with your lifestyle. Hey, I lost my job, but I'm going to this con anyways.
Yeah,
And I will throw shade at that.
that's fair. I kind of have like Wernie wants to do something, Wernie's going to find a way.
Yes, and then beg for money afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I thought I had a good plan, and then it kind of fucked up in my face. And then I was like, oops, I screwed up.
Looks at Wernie's commission list.
I'm working my way through it.
I just woke up with violence on the mind. Jesus. God damn, poor Wernie. And then there's me. 2 months of unemployment, and I was like, nah. For immigration and happening this year. Of course, it came at a really bad time, but still. Even if I had the money, I probably wouldn't have been able to go.
What I would do for immigration, but unless I suddenly get a new, actually decent job, that's not gonna happen.
Yep. Instead, I just resorted to planning for FWA next year.
Yeah, I'll be at FWA next year, but that one, my boyfriend kind of covers most of it.
That's fair. Honestly, I still think like it still kills me to just have no certainty, because I was sitting here like the other day sitting or thinking about like, okay, I want to plan for FWA. I want to go to a convention. Let's say I get to stay in this country and then I get to plan for FWA. And then I realized that the most likely thing that the government's going to do with the extension of my status is they're going to extend it for exactly 6 months to be giant dickbags about it. And that means the status is going to end literally in the middle of FWA. And if they do that, I am going to be exceedingly angry. I will
Yeah.
break something. I wouldn't put it past them. Something deliberately waging psychological warfare at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, your immigration agent is tuned into Zim's stream, as it turns out, and is just listening to all of your plans.
I wish that were the case, because I'd feel more rewarded by knowing that. But no, they just want to take people and be like, can we cause you enough stress and anxiety and anguish to force you to leave the country without having to force you to leave the country?
Yeah. How do we
And also charge you
torture?
$1,000.
How do we torture people coming into this country as much as possible to get them to leave because we don't want brown people?
You
To
know
be
what's
fair, we do the same thing at Walmart.
it just see it's just doubly obnoxious to me because not only are they being like annoying about it, they're also like they jacked up or they're planning to for a lot of the immigration stuff, the fees. They've literally gone and tightened up a ton of the rules around marriage, for example, or citizenship by family, just to be even more annoying. Down to like, oh, is your marriage not legally recognized in your country? You can't like immigrate to the US off of that. So for example, if you're in a country where gay marriage isn't legal and you married in the US and then you went back and depending on how they interpret the rules now, because we have no idea how they're going to interpret those rules, they could just be like, oh well, your marriage isn't recognized in your home country. Yeah, you can't like come to the US. Screw you.
Yeah, they're like all these like fucking chuds are like just come to the U.S. legally, but then they literally make it impossible for anyone to come to the U.S. legally.
And then you want to get family citizenship? Yeah, that's cool. We're gonna impose a ton more rules on it and also jack up the fees. And also, the wait times are gonna be about 20 years because they're like reworking a bunch of the departments in there. So they've already known that the wait times are gonna
Okay.
increase. But you can pay $20,000 to skip the wait.
This is
Right.
where I am going to be calling it for this evening. So, thank you everybody for joining us on the stream today. That was RimWorld. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to help out the channel, though you can also do so by grabbing packs of cards to stream loots, using our Humble Bundle partner link, picking up merch over at zgfgaming.store, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Goodbye.
But why?